you're watching eSpotlight, a program brought to you by Golden Jubilee Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation. Today I have with me Madam Ridhi Khanna ji. She's gold medalist in MSc Food and Nutrition, a medical dietitian and owner at Eat It Right, a medical nutrition clinic established here in Amritsar. We are so glad and so happy to have you. And I think not just entrepreneurs, but everybody who's going to see this particular interview is going to be so motivated and so helped, because we are going to talk about food and nutrition.
Thank you so much, Simran. It's a real privilege, honor to be here and helping everyone.
So, when we specifically mention food and nutrition, my first question to you is going to be about why this particular field? I mean, what motivated you? Because I think not everybody has the mindset to specifically go into the field. When we specifically mention entrepreneurs, it's more about, thinking big. Big in the sense, where does the money come from? Your field, your industry is more about helping people.
True.
So what motivated you?
See, I actually landed up in this career by chance. But within the first year, I fell in love with this. Why? Because it was actually about helping people, touching people's lives, and working at the ground level. So, what happens is when we talk about non communicable diseases like obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular issues, so everyone thinks about the medical, the medicine part. But what gets missed is the nutrition part. They both have to go hand in hand. And you are right that there are bigger monies in the medicine field, but this is the field where you are actually being the bridge between the doctor and the patient. So you are actually conveying what needs to be done after you get the prescription from the doctor. So when I started my clinic in 2012, so a dietitian was considered to be someone who's working in a hospital. It was always about that, you are ensuring that the catering, the mess, the food is delivered to the IPD patients who are admitted in the hospitals in the right way. I remember back in 2012, I was one of the first ones in Amritsar to open a private clinic in Amritsar, wherein you are talking about diet not in a hospital, but in a private setup. My family circumstances were such that I could not really join a job in a big 9 to 7 kind of job.
And being entrepreneur seeks passion.
It seeks passion. True. So we had a couple of such clinics in Delhi, Bombay, and everywhere, not in Amritsar. So I always had a vision that why can't we do it in Amritsar? Why I have to be tied in a hospital? Why can't people come and take advices from me in the clinic, wherein 30-40 minutes are given to them to talk about one of the most neglected fields in a treatment therapy, but a good medical nutrition therapy delivered to them in a private setup where they are taken care in a very nicer way.
So, talking about this industry, I would like to understand what are the biggest misconceptions? Because if I talk about generations, and when we hear the term dietitian, my point of view is going to be different. Somebody who's older, 40, 50s, who are in their 40s and 50s, their point of view is going to be different.
True.
Because at that point of time, this was not the trend. It's ghar ka khana khayenge.
Yeah.
It was more about that. People are becoming more aware. We are more conscious. But I'd like to understand, where's the borderline? I mean, being conscious about certain things, too much of everything is bad,
True.
Even if you're talking about being conscious. So what are the misconceptions?
See, Simran, the list is endless here. I'll start with the most basic conception. The 2 points I've highlighted here, I would really want to talk about those. The first one is whenever someone listens, oh, you're a dietitian, the first thing they want to talk about is weight loss.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't just consider myself as a weight loss dietitian. I'm a medical dietitian. I can consult people for fatty liver, for wheat allergies, for dyslipidemias, for cancer maybe, for hypertension. And when we talk about healthy eating, the weight loss comes on its own. You never ever have to walk towards weight loss. You have to correct wherever you are wrong, be it your gut health, be it your eating patterns, be it your sleeping patterns, be it your stress patterns. And weight loss is a byproduct. You never have to go for crash diets. You don't ever have to go for, doing bizarre kind of fad plans. So this is the biggest misconception. A dietitian, you only know about weight loss. No, I'm a medical dietitian. I'm a clinical dietitian. I talk about your wellness in whole. So if a client is walking in the clinic, so okay, you want to reduce weight, but I can see 4 other problems. I can see that you are losing your hair, you are having, acidity, you are having a low energy levels. So yes, you are coming for weight loss. I want to work on you as a whole. For me, Simran as a whole is a client, and not just Simran as this kg weight person. The other major misconception which you started in the conversation is, ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਡਾਈਟ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਕੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਘਰ ਦਾ ਖਾਓ ਪੀਓ, 3 टाइम रोटी खाओ मतलब घर का दूध, मक्खन, घी, सब्जियां, सलाद, और क्या लोग ये कहते हैं ना ਅਸੀਂ सब कुछ ठीक खाने ਆ. But the point is, sir, that if you have felt the need to walk into my clinic, there is some problem. We are missing out something.
Right.
आज के टाइम में there is so much awareness through Instagram, through Google, through ChatGPT now, that the diet plans are available for free on the Google. So if you talk about entrepreneurship, and this is something for all the budding entrepreneurs also,
Right.
that आज के टाइम पे ऑडियंस बहुत अवेयर है, उसको सब कुछ पता है कि डायबिटीज़ है, शुगर नहीं खानी है, वेट लॉस करना है, फाइबर बढ़ाना है, वेजिटेबल्स खानी है, हाई प्रोटीन डाइट लेनी है, लो फैट लेना है. But where you have to ensure that you are needed in the society. You have to, it's all about assessing your fundas, your principles of physiology, of biochemistry, of anatomy should be that strong that you can carefully assess the case. You should be able to look at the path lab reports, the clinical assessment, the anthropological assessment should be clear. You have to assess the case. You have to analyze the case. To a client, what seems like is just a diet plan कि हाँ 3 टाइम का खाना लिखे है, 2 टाइम फल सलाद लिखे नहीं, तो मैंने मेन्यू बना के दे देता है. To a client, it might seem just that. But what goes behind that is assessment, analysis, and then comes the role of counseling.
Right. So now, you mentioned social media. Don't you think that it's misleading? Because, when we were having a conversation earlier, meeting a dietitian one-on-one, sitting, and now you mentioned counseling, because your food, your habits, and your mind setup, and your mindset, it just goes parallel.
True, very
and it
true.
affects you in so many ways. So even if you have a diet plan in your hand, but somebody is not putting the right words and right thoughts, and right mindset to you, somebody is not directing you in the right direction, don't you think there'll be something going wrong?
You're actually right, Simran. Whenever some people ask me na कि result किस तरह आएगा, I say it's never about high protein, low protein, this or that. I don't consider any food good or bad. Everything is good. The results come, be for any, be it for weight loss, be it for cholesterol, be it for anything we talk about. Or maybe I can say for everything in life.
Right.
Results come with 3 things. One is discipline, consistency, and positivity. What is happening through these social media reels is that people are getting distracted. They are just reading content, but the implementation is lacking. You are sitting at a cafe, you are looking at your Instagram and having a coffee with cookies, or maybe a cold coffee with ice cream. So that reel is just giving you content. It is just about likes, views, and comments and followers. What you need is to create a mental setup. So when I talk about counseling, that is to ensure implementation. You know what to do, you know what not to do, but how are you going to ensure that it is implemented with discipline, with consistency, and the positive attitude? So I'm eating a bowl of maybe anything, maybe salad or maybe oats or maybe any kind of diet food which you talk about. Hai main kyun khani paiya, hai kitni der khana payega. That's like a negative attitude you're putting. You're not building a right relationship with food. So whatever goals you're going to achieve with that attitude is going to be a short-lived goal. So you'll do it for under pressure for some time and you'll be like, chhado meri bus ho gayi hai, hunta mere ko nahi hona hai.
Yeah.
You're going to bounce back the results. So social media is giving you content, it's giving you those dancing reels,
Yeah.
but implementation is something which is required. And therein comes the role of a one-on-one counseling, be it we are sitting in person, be it doing it online also. But there has to be a coach, a mentor on your head.
But do you ever operate on placebo effect? Sometimes because people are like, they might be totally fit, but they're conscious. The society is making them somehow conscious, and they come to you, right? And sometimes it's just not easy to convince them that you do not need a diet plan, right? So do you ever operate on the placebos? Just putting them to the right direction, but since
See, there are two scenarios in there. There are two kind of people who come to me with similar concerns. There are one who are very finicky about the weight, even they don't need. So, but I put it forward that okay, one of my client has lost 12 kilos. She has reached 64, 63, and I told her, Manka, you're looking perfect now. Any more downer than this, you'll start looking weak, and that is not the kind of work I want to do on you. So I make it a point upfront conversation that sir, this is what is required. I would not recommend, as your expert opinion person, I would not recommend you to go further. On contrary, there are other people who are fit and fine, but due to the hustles of their life, they're not able to manage things themselves.
Right.
So they keep on taking continued guidance. So that whatever work energy levels they are having, they say that if we are on, under a counseling program, I would not say a diet. I would say a lifestyle management program here where you are getting counseled on a regular basis. If we are under this program now for maybe for months together, though we don't have any specific goals to achieve in mind. But this really helps us maintaining the energy levels. My work efficiency is better. So I function better. So that is why I need your continued guidance. So we have to objectify the goals in the beginning.
right.
That okay, so we don't have any weight goals here. We just need to ensure that whatever we are doing, हम उसको consistently कर ही जा रहे हैं without any major goof ups here. And to the first question which you asked, it's important as a dietitian, you don't just have to go with what the client is asking. You are an expert here. You know where it is right, where it is wrong, and there is no, you will not lose a client. So that is the moral code here, that is the ethic code here. You have to tell the client that, sir, it is fine.
So now we are talking about two things. It's stress and diet. So when we sit in groups and we are having conversations, in layman's language, two things come up. One is that if you're stressed, it just disturbs your appetite, and then you look weak and, your lifestyle changes. On the other hand, if your lifestyle is not okay, it puts you into stress. So it's like a circle.
It's a vicious circle.
It's a vicious circle. How to break it? Because, once you're into it, because it's leading to a lot of depression, I would say as well. Because when it carries on for a long period of time, your normal thinking becomes, being sad, being in that wrong mindset. That becomes normal. How to understand, how to break that cycle that this is not normal?
There's a very basic thing that first needs to be understood. I call this is a very common topic that is being discussed in my clinic on everyday basis. If the body is undernourished, it takes stress in a different way. If I talk about myself, there's Ridhi who's undernourished, there's a Ridhi who's nourished. So same kind of stress comes to both of them. The nourished Ridhi would be able to handle that stress in a different way. But the undernourished Ridhi will not be able to handle that. So if a person is taking a lot of stress, so one is a situation that is coming in front of that person.
Yeah.
I cannot change that situation for you. But what I can do for you is I can nourish you up from this to this. So the situation, okay, it's gonna take some time for that situation to take its course. But how you are absorbing that stress and what reactions you are giving for that stress, that changes. And to your major question, that how stress and food and lifestyle, it's actually a vicious circle. What has happened in the past 7-8 months is that I've stopped using the word stress in my clinic. This word is a magnet, which is actually more common in the younger generations now.
Right.
The more you are seeing reels on stress, हमारी जनरेशन में स्ट्रेस क्या होता था? स्ट्रेस वर्ड, दिस 5 alphabet word was unknown to us.
Right.
We were never knowing what this STRESS means. जितना आप इसको अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करने के लिए हो रहा है सारा कुछ, वी आर क्रिएटिंग अवेयरनेस अबाउट डिप्रेशन, वी आर क्रिएटिंग अवेयरनेस अबाउट स्ट्रेस, यू जस्ट क्रिएटिंग अवेयरनेस, बट we are yet not working on the root cause. Now, how we can work on the root cause? I use a very important term in my practice everywhere is counseling. I think this is the third time I'm using this word in the entire conversation, because that is where you can make an impact. So if a client walks into my clinic who's stressed, because there's a question in the assessment form I ask in the beginning, what is a stress quotient? That gives me an insight. So I forget all the matters and first talk about that. What is the mudda? What is bothering you? Because once I counsel you for that, then the lifestyle management therapy is a piece of cake for us.
Right.
Because you have been put in the right frame. There's another angle to it. Stress impacts your hormones. So if you are going through a hormone imbalance, if you are going through gut health, so you talk about a gut health patient, it is with stress. वो मानेगा नहीं, उसका कहीं ना कहीं स्ट्रेस चल रहा है, उसको कहीं ना कहीं बॉदर कर रहा है, deep inside. So what I tell people is that there's something deep inside your heart. You have to take it out. You don't want to put it on your tongue. You don't want to confront that, okay, this smallest thing could be bothering me. And regrets are one thing that are creating a havoc in everyone's life. So at times I am the one who's giving my clients meditation video links. It seems absurd that why meditation at this young age?
Right.
कोई सात्विक लाइफ थोड़ा ना जीनी है हमें. But you have to calm yourself through pranayam, through maybe a walk in the fresh
Being
air.
more connected
With yourself. And I think you did ask a question about this also, that how we can understand, how we can ensure that what to do and what not to do. I always say, understand yourself. Whenever I am counseling my clients, whenever I'm assessing, analyzing their, lifestyles, I teach them that this works for you, this works for you, this doesn't work for you. Because no client is gonna be, holding my finger forever.
Right.
After a couple of weeks, months, years, they're gonna be on their own. And that's not a money-making fact, but that's a fact. So you need to learn how to manage your body.
But when you sit as a counselor, when you're listening to all the stories, you're a human, right? You as well are grabbing a part of their story. It's going to stay in your mind, right?
True.
It might burden you. It might trigger you as well, because sometimes there's relatedness. You have your own life experiences. You might have your own traumas. Traumas is a big word these days.
Scars, I would say.
Scars,
Everyone have.
and we are slowly on the path to embracing it. Being in the mindset to understand and listen, to somebody. But when I talk about the difference between the physical injuries and the emotional traumas, I don't think we're still ready to understand that it hurts the similar way. If there's pain, then there's hurt on the other end, and it needs equal amount of attention. So how do you think we can tackle that? Sometimes we are on our own. We might not have somebody to listen to us, immediately, Panic attacks are increasing because of that. Because when something triggers you, and when it just, it hits you, it's dominant on you, it's very difficult to stop that reaction, I would say. But when you're in a situation, and when what are the starting points, what are the emergency red lights that we should have in our mind, and how to tackle that?
See, in my experience, I'm not a psychologist, Simran, but in the past 12 years of my career, I have somehow evolved myself to a counselor, wherein I understand how the generation is changing, how the competition around, the pressure of everything, the monetary matters behind everything is putting a pressure. And that pressure is what is leading to the stress, these panic attacks, and the point that we are isolating ourselves. These cell phones, these gadgets which you have, we are always engrossed in them, and we don't communicate with the people around us. And when we are actually in need of people around us, since we have isolated ourselves, we don't have that the right peers around with us. The first thing that has to be done in any kind of panic attack is deep breaths. The immediate thing. There are a lot of background things that has to be worked upon. The first thing, the deep breathing. The second is whoever is around the person who's having a panic attack should never be ki hoya, kyun hoya. No.
Right.
Giving a positive support environment. It is not that is not the point to ask कि इत्थों तक गल किस तरह पहुंच गई and XYZ questions. That should be taken late. That person needs to be calmed right now. And अगर वो पैनिक अटैक आया है ना, वो किसी सुपरफिशियल इमोशनल ट्रॉमा से नहीं आया है, वो कोई बहुत डीप रूटेड मे बी ईयर्स बैक का चल रहा है, उसके कारण आया. Being a dietitian, everybody needs to work on their eating habits, their lifestyle. Because what you put in your body is what makes your body.
Right.
If you are, again, coming to the point, if you are nourished, these panic attacks will not happen. Will not happen. आज आपको मेरे को कंसल्ट करने के लिए कोई मेजर गोल नहीं चाहिए. You just need to be sure that, okay, am I eating right? Am I doing it right? I just need a consult for that. People associate dietitians with monthly program. That is not needed. That is something which I have created different in Amritsar, apart from other clinics. That you don't need to come to me for a monthly program. You don't need to come to me for weight loss. But just nourishing yourself, ensuring that I'm doing it right.
Right.
This is one thing. Second, having the right kind of peers around you. People you know will always give you the right advice, will always direct you in the right direction, not the direction which is more fancier or which is more attractive and, the kind of things you see on Netflix and, everywhere where the life is very, all fancy world is going on. But at the ground level, what is needed to ensure, a smooth, safe life where you are connected with people
Right.
in the right way. So stress is playing a havoc on people's life. It is creating all of these hormonal imbalances, but it needs to be tackled. So whoever is watching this video, if you have anything to talk about, find the person whom you can connect and talk about it. It's very important.
As I started this video with, the words that I spoke, it's going to help so many people in so many ways, because this is not just, we're not talking just about technicalities here. We're talking about lives. But just to, I'd have to ask you this, because a lot of entrepreneurs are going to watch this video. When we talk about food and nutrition industry, and if somebody wants to, enter this industry as an entrepreneur, what should be the first questions which need to be answered? Be it investment, be it their mindset. What questions, they should have in their minds? That okay, these are the questions which I need to answer first for myself to have that clarity before I enter this industry.
I remember the first career counseling session I attended years back. Maybe I was in school at that time, maybe 9th or 10th. The first question that person asked me was, where do you want to see yourself in 10 years? This is the basic question. Where do you want to see yourself in 10 years? Do you want to, I work in my clinic setting is something where a client walks in and has to directly deal with me. I am the one dealing with the client. But a lot of startups are coming up in our industry wherein you are hiring juniors and those juniors are dealing with the clients. So where do you want to see yourself? Is it something you want to make it a full-fledged business? What kind of volume are you looking forward from that business? In our field, only the marketing is what takes a lot of investments. Otherwise, there's not much investment needed in our field, if only your principles, your education background is carefully done. Are you seeing yourself as a person who's running a company? or you see yourself as a person who's doing the ground basic work of directly counseling the person. So when I told in the beginning that I could have made a choice of joining an hospital, or right now even I see a lot of my colleagues who have entered in such setups where they have hired people under them and they are just managing the work and the real part is being done by the juniors.
Right.
But it's a personal choice I have made, that I am the one who wants to be connected with my clients. That the way I can counsel my clients, I don't think that the freshers can yet. It's going to take them a lot of training to strike the right chord with the clients. So these are some basic questions which budding entrepreneurs in our field should be knowing, because food and nutrition is a very vast industry now. It's a very, so you can have a catering unit where you are supplying to maybe professors, maybe MNCs, or maybe to schools. Maybe you could be running your own fitness centers, a chain of fitness centers. Maybe you're running a digital fitness, this diet company kind of thing. Or maybe you are running a clinic at your own, or maybe you are, so there are a lot of different avenues coming out of here.
Right.
Which avenue suits you best? You want to go to entirely a weight loss segment? You want to work entirely on cancer? So you need to know where your passion lies, first of
Right.
all. And where do you want to see yourself in 10 years?
So, it just needs a lot of awareness, I would say.
True.
So, if I have to ask you, you visited our incubation center, and the work, the role of incubation center, the first thing that an incubation center does for you is to make you aware. But how do you think incubation centers, because that's incubation centers again is a very new thing,
New thing, true.
Just like entrepreneurship, has been in past few years. I mean, if we go 10 years back, entrepreneurship was not the trend.
True.
There were a lot of businessmen, but the term in itself wasn't that famous, I would say. Similar thing goes for the incubation centers. How do you think incubation centers are going to help the budding entrepreneurs?
There's a term I heard from someone, that job. People look forward to join a job.
Right.
Job is joining other people's businesses. So why can't you invest those energies in your business only? That is what entrepreneurship is all about. And incubation centers are a must, because you need the right setup, you need the right equipment, you need the right office space, which in the beginning of this entrepreneurship journey, you might not be funded pretty well to have the right mentors, to have the right infrastructure. This is where these incubation centers really work up.
All right. So, in the end, I'd like you to give a message to everybody. I'm not going to say, otherwise, it's more or less like, a message for entrepreneurs. But, this particular interview is going to touch a lot of hearts. So any message that you want to give to anybody who watches this video?
Be grounded, always stick to your ethics, and take care of yourself.
Thank you so much, Ridhi
Most
ji.
welcome.
It has been an honor to have you.
Same.
Honor to have you. And I am pretty sure that a lot of people are going to find positivity through their screen, and I think that's the biggest thing a human can do.
Thank you so much, Simran.
Thank you so much, everyone who watched this video till now, and we'll join you back with another interview with another entrepreneur. Till then, this is Simran Kaur Rathore signing off. Stay tuned.